Let us now learn about some of the important aspects of mulberry cultivation and garden maintenance. Mulberry varieties for irrigated conditions. Kanwa 2. This variety is called K2 or M5. It grows luxuriantly. Branches of this variety are simple, erect, and grayish-green in nature. This variety yields 12,000 to 14,000 kg per year per acre. S36. Branches of this variety are vertical, rough and ashy green. The roots are strong and leaves are smooth. This variety yields 16,000 to 18,000 kg per year per acre. V1. This variety with straight branches and thick unlobed dark green leaves is developed by Central Sericultural Research and Training Institute, Mysore. Recommended for paired row system of plantation. It yields approximately 24,000 kg per year per acre. Mulberry varieties for rain-fed conditions. Mysore Local. Locally called as Nati Kaddi, it is known for its wider adaptability to the average agronomic practices. The leaves are small, thin and lobed. This variety yields about 3,000 to 3,500 kg of leaf per year per acre. S13. The variety is popular in semi-irrigated conditions also. It is fast-growing with straight branches and short internodes. Leaves are simple, cordate and dark green in color with good moisture holding capacity. With deep, prolific rooting and fast growth, it yields about 5,000 to 6,000 kg of leaf per year per acre. S34. This is a variety developed by Central Sericulture Research and Training Institute, Mysore, and is recommended for black cotton soils with higher pH. It grows well under water stress conditions also. Leaves are dark green in color with good moisture retention capacity. The variety yields 5,000 to 6,000 kg of leaf per year per acre. Mulberry varieties for temperate zone. Gosho Irami. This is a most popular variety and household name with the rearers in Kashmir Valley. IGNOU. This is also another important variety for the region. KNG. This variety, that is Kairio Nizami Gashi, is also suitable for this region. TR10. This variety is suitable for hilly areas. Mulberry varieties for subtropical zone. S146. This variety, with good succulent leaves, performs well under subtropics. Chinese White, with good rooting ability and high regenerative capacity, is also suitable for the region. TR10. Being hardy, this variety is found suitable for hilly areas of subtropics also. Seed garden and selection of seed cuttings. It is desirable to have a separate seed garden for obtaining cuttings. The garden should be free from diseases and pests. The selected branches should be 6 to 9 months old with healthy buds. Cuttings should be prepared from middle portion by rejecting the upper tender and lower stout portions. Shoots selected for cutting preparation are preserved properly to avoid damage to the buds. Cuttings with 3 buds are prepared manually by cutting the shoots using sharp billhook or cicature to avoid splitting. Farmers who need large quantity of cuttings can use the cutting machine developed by Central Sericulture Research and Training Institute, Mysore. The cuttings thus prepared should be dipped in 1% dithane M45 solution for 30 minutes before planting in the nursery beds. Plantation of cuttings in nursery beds should be done along the marked lines, keeping a distance of 20 to 30 centimeters, in such a way that 2 buds get covered under the soil and 1 bud exposed. The spacing between the cuttings should be 8 to 10 centimeters. This spacing accommodates 180 cuttings in each nursery bed. Nursery bed maintenance and protection. Systematic maintenance of nursery results in luxurious growth of saplings. Weeds that grow with saplings should be removed and destroyed. When saplings attain a height of 20 to 25 centimeters, urea or ammonium sulfate should be applied around the root zone and irrigated. This helps vigorous growth of the saplings. In order to keep the saplings free from pests, DDVP and Bavestin solution should be sprayed. Foliar spray of Vipul or Seri Boost on the saplings can also enhance the growth of the saplings. Healthy saplings can be produced by following these practices. Uprooting of saplings. Uprooting of saplings can be done after 4 months of nursery plantation. Nursery bed should be adequately watered to facilitate easy uprooting of saplings. Care should be taken not to damage the roots. After uprooting, the saplings should be grouped depending on their growth. If there are 2 branches, one should be removed and the roots trimmed. These saplings should be preserved in shade, covered with wet gunny cloth till the plantation is undertaken.
To ensure a good mulberry growth and leaf yield, it is first necessary to manage soil correctly. First, check the quality of the soil. Send the soil samples to CSR and TI Mysore 57008 or soil testing laboratories of agricultural universities and agricultural departments. Soil samples should be collected properly. The correct method is Divide the land into subplots which are distinctly different from each other based on appearance of the soil, elevation, etc. Collect soil samples from about 3 to 5 spots of the subplots depending on the size of the subplots. From each spot, about 250 to 500 grams of surface soil has to be collected. Soil should be collected from a pit of depth of up to 2 feet. From planted mulberry garden, the samples should be collected from in between the rows of mulberry. Mix thoroughly all the samples collected from different spots of the same depth in a garden, land, after removal of pebbles, plant, animal and other foreign materials, etc. Divide the mixed sample into 4 equal parts. Take 2 opposite parts, again mix thoroughly and divide into 4 parts. In the same way, reduce the sample to about 500 grams and store in a polythene bag after drying in a shed. The sample should contain a label as per pro forma. Do not collect soil samples immediately after rains, irrigation, fertilization or from burning crop residues, etc. Soils near irrigation canals, bunds, shady trees, threshing floor and manure pits are also not suitable. Test results will show if your holding has normal soil with no problems for mulberry cultivation, or if it is acidic, alkaline or saline. You can expect acidic soil where rainfall is high, since bases are washed out. A highly acidic soil affects mulberry yield. The solution is quite simple and easily available. Lime. Apply the lime by broadcasting 5 metric tons per hectare. Lime must be added in 2 applications, before and after ploughing. Treatment should be repeated every 4 to 5 years. It is also desirable to choose a fertilizer like calcium ammonium nitrate. Lime improves the soil by reducing acidity and correcting nutrient deficiencies, lowering toxicity of iron and aluminium, improving microbial activity. Phosphorus is freed in the soil, becoming more easily available for the plant to absorb. In semi-arid and arid areas, small patches of soil are often alkaline. They are commonly known as slick spots. Such soil can be reclaimed by adding organic manures such as press mud, farmyard manure, green manure, etc., and inorganic materials like sulfur or gypsum. The choice depends upon the availability and local conditions, when, how, and how much. Saline soils commonly occur in coastal belts. Severely affected soil shows white crusts on the surface. Once again, the solution is simple: good quality water. Drenching with good quality water will wash out excess salt. Frequent irrigation also helps, especially during critical growth stages, by moving the salts down into the deeper soil. This downward movement can reverse during dry, hot weather. At such times, mulching with straw will reduce the evaporation, sufficiently reducing the upward movement of water and salt. Apart from these 3 types of soil problems, another problem that can arise is waterlogging. This can happen if care is not taken with saline and alkaline soils due to improper drainage systems. It is a problem in areas adjacent to paddy fields and also occurs in clayey areas. When the ground is waterlogged, the soil cannot get oxygen, which affects the beneficial microorganisms. The roots are therefore unhealthy. Rotting is also probable. Waterlogging is prevented by constructing good trenches to drain off excess water. The soil will now be properly aerated promoting healthy growth in the mulberry plantation. Good soil conditions provide good mulberry growth. Taking these steps right at the beginning will ensure a good source of income for several years to come. Mulberry plantations bear out the truth of the old saying, "As you sow, so shall you reap." Better planting methods certainly result in uniform crop. By planting in pits, the soil can be loosened and the root will grow deep. Fail pits are avoided. In rain-fed condition, the soil remains very hard, which prevents the proper growth of the root. Rainfall is usually between June to October. The residual moisture in the soil can serve the plant till November. The plant will have to survive till the next monsoon. Therefore, if the plant establishes quickly and develops good root system, it can survive easily by taking moisture from deeper zone. Dig a pit of 35 centimeters by 35 centimeters by 35 centimeters. Add 1 kg of well-composed farmyard manure or compost to each pit. For clayey soil, add 1 kg of sand also. Mix all and refill the pit. The best planting time is at the onset of monsoon, when the soil has got sufficient moisture. Mulberry can be propagated through seedlings, cuttings, grafting, etc., of which cuttings are more commonly used. Select 6 to 8 months old branches with a thickness of about 1.2 centimeters. Prepare cuttings of about 22 centimeters length with 4 to 5 buds. In rain-fed condition, give a space of 90 centimeters by 90 centimeters between plant to plant. To avoid gaps due to mortality, use 3 cuttings in a single pit. Push the cuttings in a triangular manner with about 15 centimeters distance between them, leaving 1 bud outside the soil. If rain fails, arrange pot watering when required. We can also plant rooted saplings. Planting of saplings leads to a more uniform plantation, as saplings are having well-developed root system. The method of planting is same as for cuttings, but use only 1 sapling per pit. For bush plantation, select saplings 4 to 5 months old. Before planting, dress the sapling at about 60 centimeters above the root and defoliate completely. For tree plantation, select saplings about 1 year old and about 10 to 12 centimeters girth. Deep planting, using the methods explained, gives you a well-established plantation and an established income for the next 20 years.
Preparation of land. After selection of the site, the land must be given a deep plowing to a depth of 30 to 40 centimeters. Then, weeds, rootstocks and boulders are removed. The land should be allowed for weathering, the crumbles crushed, and the land leveled. Mix the farmyard manure thoroughly with the soil. Based on the available soil analysis report, add the required quantity of lime to the soil if the soil is acidic, or gypsum if it is alkaline. In order to incorporate lime and gypsum thoroughly in the soil, plough the land. If there is termite problem, chloropyrifos mixed with water should be sprayed. In order to increase the soil fertility, green manuring can be practiced by growing sun hemp, daincha or horsegram in the land and incorporating these plants into the soil. Pit preparation. 2 by 2 by 2 feet pits are required to be dug for planting. The soil has to be completely taken out of the pits. Two to 3 kg of well-decomposed farmyard manure has to be collected for mixing thoroughly with dugout soil. The mixed soil medium has to be refilled completely in the pit. This has to be left as such for 10 to 15 days. For taking up plantation, it has to be ensured that the saplings supplied by the department have not been damaged during transportation. Saplings with damaged roots should be discarded. The selected healthy saplings alone should be used for planting. The soil medium has to be dug out and the sapling planted at the center of the pit. The sapling should be fixed firmly by refilling the dugout medium and pressing the same all around. A basin should be prepared around each sapling for conserving the water for better field survival. This also helps in checking the erosion of fertile soil during the rainy season or while pot watering. Maintenance of mulberry plantation. One of the main problems of mulberry garden is weed. For effective utilization of applied manure and fertilizers, weed control is essential. The soil around the plants and in between the rows should be loosened at frequent intervals. Irrigation should also be provided regularly. Adoption of drip irrigation in mulberry can save labor and water significantly. The garden can be maintained uniformly with limited water resources. Another advantage of drip irrigation is fertigation, where fertilizer can be provided to every plant in equal dose at frequent intervals.
Irrigation is another important factor
determining leaf yield and quality. Furrows for irrigation should be at least 15 centimeters deep and 30 centimeters wide for adequate water holding capacity and effective percolation to root zone. Mulberry requires to be irrigated once in 10 or 15 days. The frequency depends on the type of soil. When tender leaves are required for young age rearing, irrigation frequency must be increased to once in 5 days. Adequate and balanced fertilization is also essential to ensure high yields and leaf quality. In addition to farmyard manure, chemical fertilizers must also be used. Balance between the three elements, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, is particularly important as all three play a vital role in leaf production and quality. Nitrogen promotes leaf yield, phosphorus contributes to leaf quality, and potassium enhances both quality and resistance. In flat lands, the fertilizer can be spread between the plants and mixed into the soil. On slopes, it is better to deposit it in furrows and cover with soil. Both chemical and organic fertilizers are essential as together they boost leaf yield and quality substantially.
Training of mulberry plant as bush. Mulberry can be trained as bush by giving an apical cut at 6 to 9 inches above the ground level after about 15 days of planting. Training of mulberry plant as dwarf. Mulberry can also be trained as dwarf by giving an apical cut at 2 feet above ground level and allowing only 3 to 4 apical branches to grow further. Training of mulberry plant as tree. Mulberry can be trained by giving an apical cut at 6 feet after about 15 days of planting, if not trained at the nursery stage. Only 3 to 4 apical branches should be allowed to grow during first year of plantation, and thereafter given a cut at 2 feet each and crown allowed to be formed.
Once the crop is established, measures like pruning need to be taken up periodically to ensure luxuriant leaf growth. The plant may be pruned at a height of 10 to 15 centimeters from ground level once a year. After 2 leaf harvests, it can be middle pruned at a height of 45 to 60 centimeters. The whole shoot can also be pruned to ground level at a height of 10 to 15 centimeters, making pruning and harvesting of leaf a combined operation. At all levels, pruning must be done carefully with a sharp sickle or knife to avoid damage to stem or peeling of bark.